My name is Clément de Tast, so I work as a tech lead at Siam. I've been working for 15 years in the naval defense industry, working on softwares with really real-time, low latency, high availability softwares. And for 2 years now I'm working at Siam, so kind of different, much more open source. Expertise focused on Java, and I really love this language. I've been working on it for more than 15 years now.
And I invited you for this interview because I saw some messages from you related to the combination of JavaFX and Quarkus. What's your interest there?
I use Quarkus on a daily basis on my projects. It's a really nice framework with interesting features. Lots of build time optimization, lots of developer joy, and a catalog of multiple extensions. It's very rich in terms of extensions. And there is this CDI engine called Arc, which is really useful when you write applications. And so, I just wanted to combine both, because when you write Java applications, when it gets bigger and bigger, you want to have something clean if possible. So I wanted to benefit from dependency injection, and I saw that we have some solutions provided by Gluon for Spring and Google Juice, but nothing for Quarkus, and I really wanted to use Quarkus. So I initialized something on it. Just had some talks with the Quarkus guys, and we opened a repository on the Quarkiverse. So started like that, and now we have an extension that allows you to run JavaFX applications in your Quarkus application, because there is some work for the extension to do to allow using JavaFX in the Quarkus application.
Dependency injection is one topic you mentioned here. So how should we describe it? It's a way to keep your code cleaner?
It allows you to just have a declarative way to express that you are using a service. You want to be injected of an instance of a class. You can just inject the interface, and the CDI engine will find the proper implementation. It avoids doing lots of boilerplate code by instantiating all the services that you need and drilling all the instances into all your components. And there are so many features in CDI. You can also produce events, many things like that. And when using Quarkus, we also benefit from many extensions of the platform, such as micro-profile configurations, stuff like that. So you can easily benefit from many features from Quarkus.
And people who are experienced with Spring development, they definitely know dependency injection. It's the auto-wire thing in Spring.
Yeah.
Maybe we can take a look at what you created in codes and how it can be used in an application.
So that's the Quarkus page. When you want to develop a new application with Quarkus, you have this nice start coding page where you can choose from a catalog the extensions that you want. You want a REST client, you want a database. You can just look around extensions. And if you want to use JavaFX, you just have to type fx, and you find the extension. And you select all your extensions, and it generates a starter application. That's the page of the JavaFX extension. There is some documentation. Here is the guide. So if you want to use it in your project, it's kind of easy. With Quarkus, you have a CLI that allows you to add extensions, but you can also just add the dependency in your project. That's pretty straightforward. And then you can benefit from the features of the extension. And one of the main feature is to be able to benefit from injection into the controllers. Because the controllers are managed by JavaFX. They are created by the fxml loader. So Quarkus doesn't have control on them, and thus they cannot be used as beans, as CDI beans, and you cannot benefit from component context and dependency injection. So what the extensions allow you is to have these controllers managed by the extension, and then they become CDI beans, fully CDI beans. So for instance, we have this controller. So it's one of the samples of the extension. So you have multiple samples in the extension using some of the Quarkus extensions. This one uses the REST client, so it allows you to query a REST API. So for the purpose of this demo, I've used the Star Wars API, so that's a real-world API. We have this controller with the associated fxml. And now, as you can see, you can benefit from dependency injection. There, I can just declare that I'm using the app service. So that's very, very small amount of code. That's a really, really small application. So I can create dynamically new screens. That's the one I want. And with this action on this button, I'm using this code to query the Star Wars API to retrieve a list of characters from the movies. And as you can see, I'm just using the service from my application, which will use the REST client from Quarkus, and then can retrieve the result and display the results in my applications. One second thing that you can do is using this annotation run on FX thread. That's just ensure that the method is called in the Java application thread. You can use platform.runLater, of course, but you have this handy annotation. And it allows you to write some clear code like this. On this sample, we do some asynchronous reactive fetching of the data. And when the result is available, it will be called in the JavaFX application thread, and the UI will be populated with the results. I can show you one more feature. It's about what we called conventional views. So you have this annotation, FX view. And once again, it's a way of avoiding some boilerplate code. And just based on naming convention, if you annotate your controller with this annotation, it will automatically load fxml files, CSS file, and internationalization files, the properties file, based on the name of the controller. So if you provide nothing, you just use the annotation, it will use the sample name, just remove the controller part. So in our example, it will load the sample.fxml file automatically for you. So you don't have to manipulate the fxml loader. You can also customize the name if you want. If you have a file with a different name, and it will load, as you can see in the resources, it will load the fxml as well as the CSS file and the properties file.
The sample code that you're showing here, I guess this is all available somewhere on GitHub?
Of course, it's a Quarkus extension from the Quarkus organization. So Everything is open source. The code of the extension is available on GitHub. You can have a look at the code. You can have a look at samples. So it gives you some examples of how to use it. And also you can contribute if you want. If you have nice ideas or if you find any bug, you can open issues. Some of the users have opened issues. You can even create pull requests if you want to participate. Any help, any good ideas, welcome.
How does this extension integrate in the Quarkus lifecycle? What's the idea behind this?
Quarkus has its own lifecycle, JavaFX 2. When you write your JavaFX application, you have a start method that gives you the primary stage instance when it's ready. So we have sometimes we want to combine life cycles to ensure that when you are doing things in your Quarkus backend side, you want to ensure that the JavaFX part is ready and vice versa. So we have some TDI events that are produced, and you can subscribe on these events to ensure that the JavaFX application is ready, the stage is available. For instance, this event is fired when the application is ready, the stage is available, so you can use it in your code. For instance, in these samples, we are using an extension called Scheduler from Quarkus. That's just an executor service that executes some scheduled tasks, and you want the task to manipulate some UI stuff. So you want the JavaFX instance to be ready when you do such operations. So here you can just subscribe for the application to be ready. And when it's ready, we know that we can manipulate UI components. So here we have a scheduled operation. It's performed every second. And when you do your processing, you want the application to be ready to manage it. So it ensures that it's only performed when the JavaFX application is ready. So as you can see, the scheduled annotation said that it has to be executed every second, but the execution can be omitted if the application is not started. So we have a condition implemented on this. So it avoids doing complicated stuff or having errors because your UI components are not there yet. And so the second feature I wanted to show you is about live reload. So one of the very interesting feature of Quarkus is to have live reload. So when you do modification in your code, in your backend service, for instance, the modifications gets compiled and injected, injected in your code. So you can benefit from your modification that you make in your IDE instantly, pretty much instantly. It's kind of more complicated with JavaFX because what Quarkus does is restarting the application, and we cannot do that with JavaFX because the application can be started only once. So there's still some work to be done to have fully implemented live reload feature on all the controller and UI part of your application when you use the JavaFX extension. But it works for the backend, for the services that you modify. And there is something I added is about CSS live reload. For instance, if I show you, okay, this application, that's one of the samples from the extension. So you have this little screen, and if I go in the CSS file, I just change the color to red, for instance. So it's instantly applied. So that's a handy feature.
Definitely a handy feature because tuning CSS is the thing you lose a lot of time by always restarting your application. So if you can do a live
I'm not a CSS expert myself, and I really like that. You do some modification and you see, oh no, it's too big, too small, color is not correct. So you can just tweak your files and see the effect, the impact on the real application.
CSS is like building a pipeline for a CD system. You have to try a lot and see what the effect is.
Yeah, just for information, you can do that on a real world JavaFX application without Quarkus. That's not Quarkus specific. How it's done is just we watch for the file systems. So when the CSS is modified, we are notified that it's modified, and we can reload and apply it. But the way it's done in the extension is pretty seamless and transparent for the user. And there is already this dev mode of Quarkus. So when you run your application in dev mode, you benefit from that. And the fact that when you are using FX views, the CSS files are known. So everything is done automatically for you. You just use the extension and you benefit from the CSS live reload feature.
What is the roadmap for this extension? Are there plans for more features?
What would be really great is to have a better live reload support. So there is still work to be done. I don't know exactly how we can manage to do it. For instance, on this small application, I have a button which will call a service that was injected. But if I modify the service, the problem is that it will not be injected because it's the UI component that we are using is the same, and it has an old reference. We cannot restart the application because it will close all your screens. So maybe we can figure out a way to not to close all the screens, but still benefit from modifications you made on the backend part, on the services. So that's kind of open for now. So if you have idea or if you want to contribute, I have plans of trying ways to implement something that will improve the productivity, but it's not done yet. So there is this big subject I really want to do in the extension. The second one was a nice idea provided by Halvard Tradberg, that's the creator of Plant UML. He proposed that because in Quarkus we do lots of optimization at build time, we could parse fxml files during the build time. So we do that ahead of time, and it will avoid parsing the fxml at runtime and using all the reflection that the JavaFX runtime is doing. The problem is that if we want to do that, we would have to implement our own fxml loader, which is kind of a big work to do. But he worked on that. So he has a custom fxml loader. So maybe we could, in the extension, add the possibility to use a custom fxml loader, not just have the choice of using it or not. So that's another subject that we can maybe dig into. Not a real priority, but I think that's a really interesting feature to parse the fxml ahead of time. I think it would speed up the application start time, as well as avoiding all the reflection that is done at runtime. And maybe the last subject I'm thinking of is about the native support. Because in Quarkus, you have this philosophy about, okay, you write your application, your Java application, but you can, with GraalVM support, you can build your application into a executable file. So thanks to GraalVM, and you have all these integration with Quarkus that helps you build your application. I think that could be an interesting thing to have your JavaFX application built into an executable. So
if people want to join this project, they definitely can. get
Yeah,
resources from GitHub and check
yeah.
how they can contribute. Okay. Something more you want to demonstrate based on this extension?
Yeah, we made an application with a colleague of mine, Jean-Michel Doudou. We built for Devoxx France this Quizz application. At first, it was just a regular JavaFX application, but it got bigger and bigger, and we wanted to benefit from dependency injection, stuff like that. We are using conventional views. You are benefiting from dependency injection. And I can show you the application because I guess that's what you want to see. Everything is kind of big because it's things we want to display on a TV screen so people can see the quiz from a far distance. So everything is made in JavaFX. So we have animations, stuff like that. And we have all these quiz categories. And so we are using FX views, conventional views, to avoid writing lots of code. So you have the question, the answers, stuff like that. So like that, we'll skip the quiz. You have the results, the explanations. We have some of the JavaFX features like
charts.
pie charts, exactly. We have some things about the credits, and there is this some of admin features. We can add new questions. We can see some stats. We can configure the quiz. We can see some stats here with some more charts. Yeah, so that was just to show you an example of a real world small application. We are not really benefiting from many Quarkus extensions, just the ones from microprofile. So we have some properties defined in our application and we inject those properties. But if you want to benefit from any of the numerous Quarkus extensions, for instance, you want to have your MySQL database or Postgres or things like that. You can use popular extensions like LongChain4j if you want to have a chatbot with a JavaFX user interface. You can use the LongChain4j extension. So being able to use Quarkus in your Java application, it allows you to benefit from the, of course, context and dependency injection, but from the vast catalog of extensions that you have on Quarkus. So that's kind of nice. Quarkus was maybe designed for cloud native applications, backend ones without user interface, but still, I think the possibilities are huge. So yeah.
And so for people who have experience with Quarkus, now combining with FX can lead them to a new way of developing applications and learn more about how you can build user interfaces, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.